All right, hey, welcome. This is another wolf pack. We haven't done a wolf pack in a while. So I'm here, Justin from StolenArts, and you are
Brenin.
my son. Yes. So we are doing another wolf pack because J Wolf and
Wolf Code.
indeed.
And
So,
I don't like this music.
it is kind of creepy music, isn't it? This game is a little creepy, and I will warn you right now, Brennan. It's a permadeath game, which means when you die, game over.
Like Don't Starve.
Like Don't Starve.
And I have played Don't Starve a lot, so I know what this is.
All right, so here we go. We're going to actually start a new game. I did another one, but I wasn't actually playing that one. I was just showing somebody else this game. So we're going to do a new game here.
Yep.
All right, and we'll go back and forth for the reading stuff, okay?
Okay.
All right, so first thing we've got to do is, this is our user interface, all of this stuff, and it changes. This screen here will change, and this is the weapon we're using, and we'll go through all of this stuff over here in a little bit. But first things first is we got to choose what our abilities are. Now, I've played this game a bunch of times, so we'll kind of talk about it. We'll go through it, what you think is best, and then I'll give you some advice and everything like that, okay? So we're a basic human. I don't know if later on you're going to be able to play as other creatures in this game. It would be kind of cool, because there's like wolf men and stuff like that. And so maybe that would kind of affect some of this stuff. But you see these spaces we have available?
Yeah.
It means that we can take up to 4 of these, okay? And we'll go through what they do and what I think is probably best, and we'll go that. If you want more of them, you can add these bad traits that hurt you in some way. Like myopia makes it harder to see. Metabolism means that your hunger and your thirst go down a little faster, and food isn't as good. It's not that it isn't as good, but those go down faster, but you do heal faster, which is kind of nice. Feeble, you're not as strong. Fragile, your healing is slower. Physical wounds, pain, and infections are more severe. And insomniac, it's hard to sleep. But they give you an additional one of these things. Okay?
So, they give you something bad, but they give you something...
You get an opportunity to grab something else on here. So, so anyway, I will tell you the one thing that I didn't know when I first started playing this game is that myopia is something you can get rid of later on in the game. It costs you $1,000, which once you get to Detroit, then you can have laser eye surgery and get rid of it. So it is something that you could potentially get rid of, but it's the only one that's the case on. The other ones, at least since the last time I played, that was the case. All right, so these are all the abilities. There's some different ones. Hacking lets you manipulate computers, so you can get into, like, there's electronics and things that you can get into, cell phones that you can get data for. The data is worth a lot of money. But I will say you got to survive first before you ever get a chance to get into Detroit, so that's a long way off. So if we were thinking short term, it's going to be hard. Medic is nice. You get a more detailed stats on your health, and you also get to start with a medikit, which is nice. Gives you some better things. Hiding, I haven't really seen a good use for hiding. It says that it makes it harder for people to find you in your camp, but I've also read some stuff online that said that it's kind of broken right now. It doesn't work right. So I've been steering more away from hiding. Melee makes it easier to hit in combat, which you do a lot of melee combat. Weapons, guns are few and far between, not a lot of bullets, things like that, so melee becomes pretty important. You don't have to answer yet. We'll go through them all first. Eagle Eye lets you see a little bit further, 1 hex more. We'll talk about hexes in a little bit. Myopia, if you take myopia, you can't take Eagle Eye because myopia makes you see 1 hex less. Okay?
So it's like getting rid of.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Eagle Eye.
If I put it over here, whoops. So if I grab, what the heck? Oh, I keep clicking on it and holding it down. It's not working. It's just clicking like you'd think that I've played it for a while. I should know that. But if I put it over here, see how it grays out myopia? I can't take myopia as well.
If you put in myopia, you won't be able to put in Eagle Eye.
Exactly, yeah. If I put myopia over here, then Eagle Eye grays out. So you can double-click things, too, to make it easier. Tracking makes it easier to spot older tracks on the ground, and you can hide tracks more effectively. Athletics means you can move a little bit further in battle and things like that. Metabolism, the food and intake rates, these things over here go down a little slower. but your healing rates are slightly reduced. I don't know specifically why they think that your healing rates should be reduced if you have a you have a good metabolism, but whatever. Strong, you can carry more. Melee attacks are more damaging, and you can create obstacles in combat. So this strong and melee work really well together. It makes you an effective melee fighter. You can basically beat anything in the game, except there was one monster that I had some problems against. Tough, you have a higher pain threshold. Your immune system effectiveness is better. This isn't too bad. It does keep you on your feet for a little bit longer, which can make the difference in a fight.
I saw it said you could headbutt people in combat.
Yeah, that's a special attack in combat, which comes up during certain times. Trapping lets you trap and prepare animals. This is probably, next to botany, is probably one of the most important ones, just because it gives you so many abilities. It's just, yeah, honestly, I don't think that there's a reason not to take trapping ever, unless you're trying to do some sort of a special build without trapping. Just to see how long you can survive. Botany is another one. I really don't see a reason not to take it. You get to find when you see herbs and berries and funguses, you know whether or not they're poisonous, which makes a huge difference, because if you don't know, you might eat something and make yourself sick. The other thing that's nice about botany is that you can make tea, which helps your immune system, and it's easy to make the tea, so that's nice. Lockpicking does help you unlock stuff without making a lot of noise, so less likely to attract things, and your loot could be better. It also lets you be able to make lockpicks, which is pretty effective. Once you can get to Detroit, you can actually get a decent business of just making lockpicks and selling them, because they're worth a decent amount, $10, I think. Electrician and mechanic. I haven't seen a big use for them. At the beginning where you start, you can use them.
Like they're the same, except mechanic is mechanical and electronic is electric.
Right. I'm talking about in the game. I haven't seen a big use for them. The mechanic, you can actually use it to, I think, build carts and things like that are your vehicles that you can push equipment around in. But there is a use for them at the beginning where you can make your first little place to kind of hold up. But I don't know. I haven't seen to actually spend 2 of your ability spaces on something like that. Maybe if it was 1, electrician and mechanic, that would be another thing. But it does make your home really effective, like really good. But you do have to find all the parts and everything for it, which does make it, it's not just take these powers and you're good in your first thing. I call them powers. But they, so there you go.
And I can guess what range does. Higher damage.
Yep, you have a better, not higher damage, but you have a better chance to hit. Kind of like melee gives you a better chance to hit with melee attacks. Range gives you a better chance to hit with ranged weapons. And you can make an easy ranged weapon, the slingshot, which does a fair amount of damage. Right off the bat, it's relatively easy to make. So there you go.
But melee combat's better.
Yeah, so where do you want to start? What do you want to start with?
Botany.
Alright, so botany's a good one. So we'll start with botany. What else?
Strong.
Alright, strong. So that means that our attacks will do more damage when they actually hit.
Melee.
Alright, so now that means that we're more likely to hit in combat. So good combination between these two. We're more likely to hit, and we can do massive amounts of damage.
It grayed out feeble.
It did, because we're strong, we can't be feeble. Yeah.
Which is weak.
Yes, exactly.
Mechanic, I guess.
You want mechanic? Okay, so we'll take mechanic. That'll give us knowledge of mechanical systems and components. What else?
There is nothing else.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to take any of the bad traits? Or do you just want to go with this?
I think that's good.
Alright, so we're going with botany, strong, melee, and mechanic. Let's see how long we can survive. Alright, so all we got to do now is we just tell it to confirm. You can also do random. Yeah. It's
not very good.
Yeah, unless you're trying to see how well you can do with a random run, which, might be kind of interesting.
Because you could just get ranged, metabolism, hiding, and medic.
Alright, so here we go. We are in, we're going to go ahead and read. You wake up disoriented, slumped over the base of an empty cryosleep pod, still damp from cryo fluid. The thick dust from the floor clings to your skin, leaving a clean spot on the ground where a large 05 is painted. Across the room there is an open door to the hallway and a broken window leading outside. Just as you gather your wits, an unearthly scream erupts from down the hall beyond the doorway. Something is coming. Fast. All right, so what do you want to do? So what it's done is it's given us 5 options over here. We can jump out the window. We can use our strength to prepare to fight it. We can use our melee to prepare to fight it. We can use our knowledge of plants to try to help us. Or we can use our mechanic ability to rig the door shut.
Mechanic.
Okay. All right, so we'll rig the door shut. That's what we're going to do. Okay, all right, so we confirm. Using a common maintenance override code, you switch the door controls into maintenance mode, forcing the door closed and locked. The creature howls madly and slams into the door and rams it a few times before its muffled sound recedes again. All right, so you kept us alive. Nice job. You getting nervous already? It's all right. You're standing in a cryostasis room, though it looks like you might have been the only survivor. All right, so we have 2 options. We can climb out the window this time as opposed to jump out it, or we can search the console for records. So what do you want to do?
Search the console.
All right. There we go, and we'll go ahead and confirm. You check the console for any patient info and come across 3 records. Me, Tank 1, Anton Blubber, committed 2012 11/11, emergency contact, Angela Blubber, 45 Campbell Street, Detroit, Michigan 48210. Filing billing info, Angela Blubber, 45 Campbell Street, Detroit, Michigan 48210. Tank number 5, Philip Kindred, committed 2019-09-15. No data. Billing info account number 2014117, Detroit Savings Bank. And you can read the rest of it. So now we know who we are. Our name is Philip Kindred. But we don't know anything. We just know that whoever's paying for it is at a Detroit Savings Bank. Pretty interesting. So that's it. There's nothing else for us to read there. We can go ahead and confirm. All right. So we can check the console again, or we can climb out the window.
Well, jumping might be dangerous, so just climb.
Yeah, there isn't an option to jump.
I know, but earlier.
All right, we'll talk about this stuff as soon as we get out of the this place here. So, all right, you decide to go outside and see if you can figure out where you are. Avoiding the broken glass, you step onto the sill and outside, rustling some plants that have grown wild in the area. It's cool outside and damp, probably morning. You're in the parking lot of Gygas Cryo Facility, but everything looks disused and in disrepair. Plants have pushed their way through the pavement and over the facility. Worst of all, nothing looks familiar. You don't remember this place or even who you are. Your frustration mounts, but you catch it and put it in check. Might as well take a look around. All right. Okay, so this is the main sort of HUD. So this tells us what the temperature is. It's cold, partly cloudy, and it's dawn. The last time I played, I don't remember seeing that, so that must be a new thing with the update. And then kind of working around, we'll look up here. This is the main menu. This takes us back to that main screen where we can save it and exit. And when you save it and exit, there's no save it and come back and make a decision and then go back to your last save. There is no working around that. Once you die, you are dead.
So it's like Iron Man.
Yes, exactly.
For XCOM.
Yep, for XCOM. All right, so this is how many moves we have left. We have 5.00 of 4. Now, the reason there's a decimal point 00 is because some abilities don't take an entire movement score, like when you craft things and stuff like that. So, all right, so moving down here, sated hunger, which means that it's sated. We don't have any problems. We're not hungry. We feel good. Obviously, the further to the right it is, the better. The further to the left it is,
the worse.
The worse.
So,
with the exception of the temperature, that just is the hotter it is to the right, the colder it is to the left. And it does change color. Slacked thirst. Slacked, yes. That means we're good, we're not thirsty, we're well rested, we are unburdened, so we're not carrying too much. We are comfortable, so the weather isn't making us too cold. The outdoor temperature looks like you are getting colder. So it is kind of cold outside. Too cold for probably what we have on, and we'll see what we have on. We are unhurt. We have $0, and we can end our turn. When we end our turn, it refills this, but it allows all of the NPCs, because this is us and then all NPCs. You're not playing with anybody else. This is a single-player game. But they get all to move, because this is turn-based. Nobody's moving right now. The computer is just waiting for us to go. All right, so we can run. If we go into run mode, we can move a little bit faster, but it does tire us out, and we can only do it once in a while. We can hide in the location. It makes it harder for things to find us or see us. We can hide our tracks, which you don't see them right now, but when we actually walk into a new hex, it will make little red tracks for the hex we're in and the hex we left, and they stay for a certain amount of turns. And the longer that they stay, the other monsters can come across it, or other NPCs, see it, and follow those tracks. Now, you can hide them, but it costs you moves to do it. Okay, so Spy is that gives you the option, like if we see an NPC, we can click on Spy. It costs us a movement, I think 1, and then it'll tell us like what they're doing. You know, are they moving away from us? Are they moving towards us? Are they looking for us? Are they scavenging?
Are they conscious?
Are they conscious or unconscious? Yeah, all of those things. Scavenge, this one only shows up
in certain areas.
No, it only shows up. You see this little magnifying glass on our hex?
It only shows up there.
Yes. So if there's a magnifying glass, it means that we can scavenge within the hex and find stuff. If it shows the little box, it means that there's items on the ground in the hex that we can pick up, and everything like that. So this shows our main map.
And we can just press tab.
And this shows, yes, indeed. I never use those, but yes, you can hit tab. And this shows the zoomed out mini-map. So this is the mini-map. That is the tiny little area. And I don't think it moves around, but I think Detroit is over here, and it takes forever to get there. So we'll find that out. I think after the first day, after dawn, once it becomes nighttime, there's a little thing that tells us that Detroit's over there.
And I think nighttime makes you to move less. Like
you do, yeah. Your moves go down when it's nighttime. So open and close skills and abilities screen. So we'll go into that. That just tells us these things. And that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else here. I don't know if later on in other renditions, which would be kind of cool, as you play, maybe
I like how it says basic human is bad.
yeah, it's bad to be a basic human.
4 times. It's bad to be a basic human 4 times.
So anyway, I don't know if later on in other renditions of the game they're going to have where you might get experience points for doing things, and then you can use those experience points to purchase new stuff, which would be kind of cool. So anybody who makes the game who's listening, that's an interesting kind of game mechanic. Yeah,
and I think the thing I would like in this game is like in FTL, where there are different species that you can pick.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be cool too. Alright, so...
And like the different species would give you like disabilities, but you would get like 2 for 1.
Right.
But they would like decrease your hunger, decrease your health, stuff like that.
Right. Okay, so the next thing, this is the open and close the crafting screen. So this is the actual crafting screen. What I can do is I can take the hospital gown. Whoops. I can click on it. I can bring it over here to craft it. And then it tells me what I can make it into. Dirty rags and a handful of string. And if I click the confirm button, which I'm not going to do because I need that, then it'll craft it into it, and then it'll be on the ground for me to pick up.
And you're going to be naked.
Yeah, I'll be naked, indeed. So this is the crafting menu. You can also utilize your abilities to do other stuff. Like if we had the trapping one, it lets us do some other things.
With like animals.
Yep.
Dead bodies.
Yep. So, but, these are some things that we're wearing, because it's got the orange around there. It means that we're wearing it. So, moving on to the next thing, which is the open and close items. This is the item screen here. Okay, so there's us. All right. So we're wearing a hospital gown, which I can take off, and then we're not wearing anything. We don't have a backpack yet.
We don't have anything in our right hand nor left hand.
Yep. We are wearing this wrist strap that says Philip Kindred on it, and we're wearing a talisman on a braided leather string, but nothing else. So that, and the hospital gown. We've got nothing in our hands, and there are some shards on the ground, shards of glass on the ground from the broken window. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the shards. Oops. And put it in, whoops, jeez, can't even click in the right spot. There we go. So now we have shards in our hands to use just in case we hit. I don't think. Yeah, so now we can actually use something as a weapon. So now we actually have something to use as a weapon.